Welcome to the Online Trainer Show, where we help fitness and nutrition pros take better care of their clients and build profitable businesses. I'm Jonathan Goodman, and as always, I'm joined by Amber Reynolds. We're happy you're here. Let's start the show.
I like dancing to this.
Bonjour, bonjour. You still like dancing to it? I know, it's a little bit of a shimmy. It's a little like jazzy theme that Joey put in there. That's cool.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I feel like it's going to get old really fast, though.
Not any worse than our last jingle.
Yeah, but the last jingle was designed to be really annoying. Like, I don't know if you remember that meeting.
Oh,
but
I do. Yeah.
The conversation literally was, how can we make a jingle that is so annoying that people can't get it out of their heads and then hate us for it?
Yes.
And then that's it.
That's it.
So this analogy today, the 2% that makes a 98% difference, is kind of comes from Louis Grenier, who runs a podcast called Everyone Hates Marketers. And he talks about the tip of the iceberg versus the rest of the iceberg and the importance of not actually showcasing the rest of the iceberg because you don't want to overwhelm your customers. And how the tip of the iceberg, the stuff above the water, is actually what matters. And to identify the tip of the iceberg, it's that the simpler and easier to understand and comprehend and make sense of in terms of your marketing message, the better. Most of what you do, most of how you get results is going to be under the water and is irrelevant from a marketing standpoint. And it sounds counterintuitive, but the more you talk about the majority of what you do, the harder of a time you're going to have getting people to sign up. You said you wanted to add some stuff to this, Amber, so I can keep going on some of this, but I wanted to kind of lay it up for you.
Well, thanks. So if we were to give an example, right, because I think the analogy is great visually, but how do we apply it in this case? So for our students, for example, that 2% is going to be the things that our clients want to hear and need to hear to feel heard. So so that they understand that you know what it is that they need. So they don't really need to know that you have a 16-week progression, whatever, right? But they do want to hear that you're going to be offering flexible workouts. And maybe sometimes because they have kids that you can include the kids and it's family friendly.
Yep.
That's the stuff that they need to hear. They don't need to hear all of the gory details that it took you 4 hours to put this, 16-week progression, together. They don't care about that, but they do want to know that it will work for them and that you put it in perspective for them. So that would be how I would interpret.
And it's usually one thing. Like think about your own purchase behavior. You, Amber, too, but I'm talking to the dear listeners here. Can we call them dear listeners? Can we say that? Dear listeners.
Sure. Makes you happy.
Dear students and prospective students and future students of the Online Trainer Academy, I have some wisdom for you that I would like to bring down, and I hope you find it insightful. The question is, how do you kind of figure this out, like what it is? If you think about your own buyer behavior, you don't buy things because it makes sense, because you make a logical decision. You have no idea how to compare one thing to another thing. What you do is you rationalize your buying behavior in a way that gives you permission to actually buy the thing that you want to buy the thing. And so you need one piece of it that allows you to feel like you can say to somebody else, I bought this because of that. And it's one thing. And I'll give you an example of when I went to buy a TV, because I think it's a good example of this. What makes one TV different than another TV? I don't freaking know. But people who know stuff about TVs definitely know. Different picture qualities, different types of screens. You can get now curved screens, regular screens. You can get hertz rates and probably all these different types of measurements of what makes a good TV and what makes a different TV. I don't give a shit about any of that. I want a TV that shows pictures, hopefully in color. That's literally it. So how
Just
do
hopefully, not for sure.
Right, hopefully. So how do I possibly make a decision when I walk into a TV store? I am a ignorant consumer when it comes to the vast majority of things that I buy. The majority of consumers are ignorant, buying the vast majority of things that they buy. In fact, and this is generally accepted consumer behavior, most people are what's called satisficers for just about everything, which basically means their buying decision is based around the belief that what they're buying isn't going to be a complete piece of crap and that they're not going to feel stupid for buying it, than it is this desire to buy the absolute best. We generally maximize in one or two areas that we're particularly interested in. Now, the hard part is, as a personal trainer, you probably maximize in fitness. Your customers don't. Which means that in order to get into your customers' heads, in order to sell to your customers, you have to not do what's natural to you, which is maximize in fitness, right? You might care about the tempo and the rep schemes and the intricacies of your beautiful programming, or all of these different types of equipment or anything like that. Your client doesn't care about any of that, right? So when I went to go buy a TV, I walked in and the salesman said, "Hey, what's up?" And I said, "Hi, I need to buy a TV." And he said, "Cool, what are you going to watch on it?" And I said, "I don't know, sports." He's like, "Okay, well, the best kinds of TVs to watch sports on are ones that have a faster or better Hertz ratio because it makes for more clearer picture when the screen picture changes fast." As you can see, I don't even understand it now. But,
as someone who used to sell TVs, that was very funny.
But, oh yeah, you did work at Best Buy or something, didn't you? But what he did was he gave me a reason and permission to make a decision. He gave me a reason and decision to narrow down my decision-making process into one thing. Okay, cool. And it's funny because I don't even really watch sports. Like, I don't really watch, like, at my house now, I don't have a TV. So, like, I don't really watch it, right? But he gave me permission to make a decision by narrowing down my choice to one thing with one question about what I care about. And one of the good ways that you can do this is you could think about your core customers. You can hopefully talk to your core customers and say, you know, in previous programs that maybe didn't go so well, what happened? Why didn't they go so well? Oh, they were too tight with the workouts. You know, they all had to be an hour long. I couldn't make that work. They all had to be at the same time. I couldn't bring my kids to them. Whatever it is, there's always going to be one thing that's going to keep repeating. And so that one thing then is fun. You know, this workout is for example, I like the example of the barbell shrug guys. They did I can't remember the name, but it's for dads. I think it was like Diesel Dads was the program name. Like kind of a dumb name. I feel awful saying that. Like, it's kind of like Diesel Dads, but it probably appeals to somebody not like me who feels like they want to be diesel. I don't even really know what that means. I guess it's like you have motorcycles? I don't know.
I was thinking, yeah, they're into trucks. That would have been my...
Okay.
Being in the South where I'm surrounded by rednecks, I would have thought guys that are really into trucks that are dads.
Okay, so maybe. But the idea is like they built a program for busy dads, and particularly, you know, they kind of come from a CrossFit background, so it's all AMRAP type workouts. And so the entire marketing of their program is based around, they have three different, they basically built the programming, this is super smart, they built the programming around three different streams, basically around how much time you have. So if you're the type of dad, and they literally say this, like if you're the type of dad who wakes up at 3:30 in the morning and has 15 minutes to get in a workout before you go on for your day, you do 5 days a week, right? And it's 15 minutes. If you're the type of dad who can do, you know, half an hour, then you've got 3 days a week and they're half an hour programs. If you're the type of dad who can do 45 minutes to an hour, great. You've got 2 days a week, 45 minutes to an hour, and then you've got an optional 30-minute mobility another time of the week. Now, we suggest that you start with one stream and continue that for the course of the program. But if you can't do that, you can switch back and forth. I can tell you right now, as a father who owns a business, like, that's appealing to me.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Right. So talk to me about a couple of these really nice kind of tip of the iceberg approaches that you've seen, Amber. Like, you talked about ones with, like, bring your kid to the workout, for example.
Yeah, so that's definitely one. I've seen some nutrition coaches do things like, you know, on a scale of like 1 to 10, like, how much do you enjoy cooking? So if you absolutely hate cooking, then this is the path that we need to take. If you are interested in cooking but lack the skills, here's another program. If you love cooking and just need to, like, learn to cook healthier, then this is the path for you. Right. And so it's just understanding the mindset of where your ideal client might be and where those obstacles might lie. So I've seen that, and I thought that was really interesting.
I mean, what about different ethnic groups?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
We've spoken a lot about how, you know, the fitness industry is kind of tailored towards white people. You know, if you want to diet, do you have to eat broccoli and chicken? Well, what if you're Indian and you're used to eating a lot of rice, you're used to eating different, I mean, any ethnicity, right? Where you've got foods that are traditional for you, and that's what you've always eaten, that's what your family's always eaten. Like, can you build a program that basically says you don't have to give up your tandoori chicken, your whatever, right? You don't have to give this up. You like this is built around you specifically.
Yeah, do you remember his name? He does fitness around Ramadan.
Bilal and his wife. Yeah, he's a level 2 online trainer academy graduate. Yep. I mean, they do a great work. One, his wife is a nutritionist as well, and they do a lot of Muslim stuff, and they do a great Ramadan program. And I mean, talk about the tip of the iceberg. So he does the fitness, right? His wife does the nutrition. They specialize in Muslim-specific nutrition and fitness. And they do circuits of giving talks at mosques around Ramadan time. Community centers. Like, they've become known in that community. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They are the only game in town.
Yep.
And this brings in another topic that I have on our list we're going to talk about at some point, which is online training doesn't have to be outside of your city, doesn't have to be outside of your community. In fact, some of the most successful online trainers I know train exclusively in their own community.
I literally had a client that was a half mile down the road. She lived in my neighborhood. And for fun, we would go for walks together, but everything else was done online. So.
Yep. Yes, it's huge. So this idea then, you know, the 2% that makes a 98% difference, nobody gives a shit about the intricacies of your program. Straight up. You care about it way more than your client does. Most people don't care about anything that you do as long as you get them to where they want to go. So you've got to, sell what the client's going to become as a result of joining your program, and you've got to have one nugget, one tip of the iceberg that you know is going to be meaningful to them and is going to stand out in their mind and say, oh my God, this guy, this gal, they get me. They understand that what I'm dealing with is unique. They understand that what I'm dealing with is something that, a regular fitness program that I can buy off of the shelf or a membership program that I can buy from that Instagrammer is not going to meet my goal because I can't eat, or I don't like eating white people's food. Or I can't do 45-minute workouts 4 days a week, straight up. I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. I can do that sometimes, but not always. Or whatever that thing is, right? That's the tip of the iceberg.
And something I want to point out with that too is it's very specific, right? So you can't just say, well, flexible programming. No, what does that actually mean in the context of their life? They see that all the time with students. Oh, well, I offer flexible programming. Okay, but what does that actually look like? What does that mean to them?
Stop using vague, nice-sounding, superficial words that you see everywhere. because they mean nothing. They don't differentiate you in any way, shape, or form. If it's easy to say, if you're not scared that this isn't going to shut off you from the majority of potential clients, it's not worth saying it. I'm going to repeat that. If what you say is easy for you to say, and if what you say does not scare you because of its potential to shut you off from the vast majority of clients, it is not worth saying it.